everybody. Welcome to the Cottonwood Public Library here, August 22nd, 2025. My name is Sunshower Rose. I'm a professional artist and just published my first book called Sunshower's Art Speaks that you're holding in your hand right now. Let's see, so I'm Canadian born. My family immigrated to the States when I was 12 years old. And I was in Southern California for 26 years, and now I've been in the Verde Valley for 38. Claim to fame, designed the City of Sedona logo in 1988. Just the luck of the draw, I got lucky, I guess. So I've also done performance art, which John in our audience would know about. And I've done something called art concerts where I'm, painting. I have dancers on the stage with me and musicians, and I'm painting away, capturing the dance movement. That seems to be one of my fortes, the face and the figure. I can do other stuff too, but those are my two fortes. So let's get on with Sunshower's Art Speaks. Well, how did this even come about? So let's see. I think it's been at least 15 years that the idea came to me to, in a book, have my art on one page and the writings that come from my art on another page next to it. And I go, yeah, I even made a little tiny mock-up of it way back when, and now here it is on Amazon. Who'd have thunk it? So the thing is, where do these writings come from? I say they come directly from the art itself, and that's true. What I can do is just sit in front of one of my art pieces and ask it to tell me about itself. And I hear in a clairaudient fashion words, and I just write them. And typically they come out in 4-line stanzas. They're not poetry, but they could be considered prose. And they usually have a spiritual bent, and sometimes they're on the humorous side. Still spiritual, but on the humorous side as well. So what I'm going to do today is show a few slides, 7 slides from the 22 that appear in the book, Sunshower's Art Speaks. And I've added some slides at the end because I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about my art itself, not just the art that appears in the book. So with that, here you've got the book in your hand. You can see this is the cover, Sunshower's Art Speaks. So let's move on to the next slide. Well, guess what? It's the same piece. And now this is the name of the piece, called Grecian Grace. And you will not find this at the beginning of the book. In fact, there's no page numbers to this book. If you wanted to find a particular piece, you'd have to go to the chronology, which is right after the introduction, and find it. It's kind of by year. It's a chronology. When did the art piece, when was that created? And then when did the writing come? And sometimes the writings come shortly after I've done an art piece, and sometimes it's years later. Like when I was preparing for this book, I go, I want this art piece in the book. Oh, it doesn't have a writing. So then I would just listen, and here would come the writing. So you're going to get to choose several of these today, and I will actually read from the book while you follow along and look at the art. I always think it's really helpful for a person to be looking right at the art piece that's being narrated. Because other feelings come up. And that's another thing I'd like to do, is get this a little bit interactive and have you tell me what you're feeling about what you've just read. So that would be one choice. Gemini woman. Well, just so happens I'm Gemini. So there had to be a Gemini woman in the in this book. Story time. Kind of a favorite. A lot of people seem to like this piece because it's fanciful, and the writing that came from it is fanciful as well. Blue Heron. Well, I did that somewhere in the mid-90s, and you can see that most of my work is watercolor based. I'm a watercolor based artist, mostly watercolor itself, but I've used airbrush, acrylics. I don't like oils, they stink, and they're slow. I'm really fast. Comes from being a caricature artist. I think I'm very, very fast. I can do a profile of a person in 30 seconds. So I'm just fast, and this medium lends itself to quickness. Some people are intimidated by that. I enjoy it, and I teach it. So let's move on. Venetia is one of the first pieces that I had added found objects to my art, giving it a three-dimensional look. So we can see ribbons. You can see that the mask there, the eye part is cut out, and the little pupils and the eyes, those are actually foil, and they're little dolphins. The flamingos have been cut out. The background is 3 different layers cut out, and the stairs are 3 different layers, all cut out. Okay, let's move on. Right, White Tiger, Full Moon. This was a commissioned piece, so I don't have the original in my collection anymore, but I have a metal print of it that's about this big, and it makes me happy to see it this big, because the original was quite large. White Tiger, Full Moon. Taraya is the last piece that I'm gonna give you a choice to choose from. And before I go on to the other art of mine, I thought maybe we could just do a thing where I'll narrate right from the book. If you'll choose a piece, which one do you want? Let's have a vote. Shall I go backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Taraya, White Tiger, Full Moon, Venetia, Blue Heron, Story Time, Gemini Woman, and Grecian Grace.
Story time.
Story Time.
I like story time.
Oh, okay.
I like the White Tiger, Full Moon.
White Tiger, Full Moon. Taraya. Oh, wow, nice choices. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll read the first one, but I actually think it'd be really fun if you guys would read also, instead of just me doing all this, right? So let's do Taraya first. Let's go back over to Taraya. Ladies first, okay? Here she is. And I don't remember where she is in the book. Can somebody show me? Is this okay, Ken? Right here.
It is now.
All right, so Taraya, I think she's the very last one. Yeah, she's the very last one in the book. So I'll read first, and then you guys, maybe we'll take a turn, okay? Taraya says, "Peekaboo, I see you. Do you see me? Let's play hide and seek. There are several of me here. I am Taraya. My name refers to the art piece itself. I'm sure you see the ballerina. Do you also see the face that is slightly hidden within my form? What is your impression? I can tell you that I'm a result of the artist's curiosity about Impressionism. Something that is typical of an Impressionist work that's atypical, not typical, atypical of Impressionist work is the use of watercolor, which I am, because it's Sunshower's favorite medium. Impressionism has a visceral brushstroke feel, and which creates a tactile feeling. The plays of light through a type of dancing of the brush, striking the canvas in quick succession, intentionally portrays a passage of time, as shadows are cast this way and that, with the rotation of the earth around the sun. This process is called daubing, or dancing the brush. Impressionism is most known by artists such as Claude Monet, Edgar Degas, and Van Gogh. Sunshower's curiosity often leads her to emulate others' style, which is exactly what she did in this piece. Hence, there is a bit of Monet in the meadow. Degas, known for his study of ballet, is very apparent. Van Gogh, with his bold use of color, is found in the tree. The Sunshower's love of the human face discreetly appears here too. The tricky part in the execution of me, Taraya, was to make sure the brush strokes seem thick. That's where the visceral part enters the scene. Watercolor is a translucent medium, so how was I used? Sunshower Sunshower's intention came into play. If you view her work in general, it is subtle in coloration. I am bold, almost aggressive. Well, now you know that curiosity played a big role in my creation. And I didn't take long either. I was finished in under 2 hours. That's some fast painting. And it's that challenge that Sunshower gave herself which made the experience so very fun. As a caricature artist, she's become ever so quick with whatever medium beckons her. Hint for Sunshower's next book, Taraya combines and overlaps the ballerina and the face. So we have collaboration in the making. Alrighty, let's see, what was the other choices?
White tiger, full moon.
Oh, there it is, right there.
So, I, the white tiger, emerge as an adult male from Her Majesty La Luna, the full moon. There are no words, only silence inside of her passivity. She has loaned me to this place, Gaia, as a handsome representative of her grace and liquidity, for I move often in silence. Long before I appeared as a species here, La Luna called out for eons into the galaxies. Through her own vibration of loving query, who is willing to embody my essence on Earth. My relative, Pantheris tigris, heard her telepathic call. He gathered with that clan, holding a powwow to determine whether they were to be the ones. And the unanimous vote was, nay, we are not. Yet the calling haunted my ancestors, the tawny-colored tigers with the transversing black stripes for centuries. Then, one full moonlit night, I was formed into a body. I was the antithesis of the tiger walking the jungles. I bore the black markings of him, but my essence was colorless. My grandmother, the moon, in all her radiant whiteness, split me from herself, calling me White Shadow. I am proud to walk this plane as her divine male counterpart. It is that all of us, two-legged, four-legged, and winged ones, have our opposite in gender as a way to propagate our species, and yet only in the heart of humankind is the need to balance. Yin and yang, light and dark, from within, so great. It is only humans who grieve through their own misgivings. Only the consciousness of man and woman endure introspection to redeem themselves from some plight they have imagined, or gaze their hearts away only to live in a haunted dimension of lost love. The vastness of the moon's energy gently rocks the grandest of oceans. First the tide rushes in, plants a kiss on the shore, then rolls out to sea, and the sea is very still once more. Thus is the power of La Luna. Sea, the moon, time of the feminine, as some tribes describe. It is then that women are removed from the village to be alone. I am the clouds that pass eerily in front of grandmother's face. When you slip into yourself, I stand at the mouth of your cave. The cleansing of minds through prayer and such homage shake men and women free from self-inflicted bondage. Wandering souls have taken on human bodies, flesh and blood, come to grips with their own damnation or salvation. Only you, the two-legged, seize the right to self-realization. I, the white tiger, then raise my head, a gleaming example, offering the gift of personal truth in some cultures. Yes, I am a symbol of conviction and inner strength. I come on cat's feet, silently in the mists of jungles. As the rays of father sun peer through bamboo leaves, I am searching for my morning meal. I am often mistaken for sunbeams and shadows. I, too, seize the moment, unaware that it is my stripes creating the split-second chance to fill my belly. And this is why my grandmother Luna requested me to take her form as the white tiger. My whiteness is now your shining truth and her sunlit face. My stripes bespeak the black secrets of your winter. Yet it is the only from dark side of the moon that the grandmother can truly say, I hear you.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we've had another person come into our midst, so I'm going to give you a book to go along with here, Anne. Thank you. And two is a writer, author. How many books do you have?
Too many.
Too many. Oh my. Okay.
5 or 6.
Oh, okay. Third. Wow. So let's see. I had the group choose which three they'd like to read from. I read the first one. Ben just read, and then John, you had another one in mind? Was that story time? I think you said story time. So let's see. Where is that to be found in the chronology here? Story time. Oh, it's about a third of the way into the book. Do you want to read it, or shall I, or would you like someone else to? John?
Yeah, somebody else,
Somebody else.
please.
Do you want to read, Amaya?
I can.
Okay, so here we are on story time.
Story time. And then the banana elephant, Mortimer, drew his trunk way up in the air and sounded a mighty rah. Everyone in the jungle perked their ears and looked at each other, making ready to run. Even the leaves buzzed among themselves, and breezes sang the message over the airwaves. Whoosh, whoosh! The jungle animals stood up, peered around, then sprang towards the sound. Grandpa Gnome paused, listening carefully to Baby Gnome. Now his breathing let Grandpa know he was sleeping peacefully. This precious bundle of energy has so much ahead of him, Grandpa pondered. The mushroom beings nodded, because they agreed. Mr. Shade Tree smiled too. Grassy Tufts whispered, yes, as a tiny wind whisked round around them. Only the rock people said nothing. Grandpa Gnome grinned to himself. Those little ones have fallen into slumber too. That's the way it goes when it's story time. He looked to his right, noticing Father Sky's twilight clouds. Ah, yes, he murmured inside his cat's head. It's that time too, when we begin to disappear, at least to the naked eye. Not so, of course. Our presence is even grander when most folks are sleeping. Our work is forever moving within the human heart, and only very, very few feel us, consciously that is.
Any
Thank you.
feelings about this? Anybody?
It's nice, it's cheerful, it's
Cheerful.
playful.
Playful? Yeah.
Are the mushrooms like psychedelic mushrooms? Or
No. They could be, right? Art is
Yeah.
very interpretable. So sure. Well, after I did this piece, other people pointed out, there's like 5 faces in that big mushroom. And that, that kind of thing happens all the time. Of course, it's pareidolia. Are you familiar with that term? Pareidolia. So people like to see animate or even inanimate, like objects in something like bark or clouds or
Rocks.
rocks, and so, or a mushroom head there. And it's called pareidolia. It's something like the human the human condition seems to want things to be finite.
Yeah.
And if it has a face, oh look, there's a face in that bark. Or there's a bearded grandpa and his cat, see that? And I'm like, yeah, how about it's just some bark? That's just the way I think. I understand when people come up with these inventions about what something looks like, right? And actually, it's not maybe kind of an artistic thing. Maybe that's a good thing. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of all the slides that I showed so you could see them, Anne. So let's just go back. So of course you see the cover there.
Yeah.
And if you look in the book, in the introduction, just before the introduction, I think, you're going to see a picture of a woman. Her name is Ravenhair Kiss. And her lips, she's black and white. There she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See those lips on Ravenhair Kiss? Well, I reproduced them in the cover. Can you see that?
Yeah.
They're right here.
Yeah.
So it's like Sunshower's art speaks. Oh, maybe some lips would be good to have on the cover. Let's disguise them just a little bit.
That's very clever.
So, and then of course Grecian Grace, you know, I have an author site, and if you go to Grecian Grace, you're going to see that there's a QR code, and if you were to use that QR code, it would take you to my author site, and you could hear me narrate this piece. So I'm happy to read it for you if you'd like. I said I was going to go through all the pieces that I was showing that are within the book. And Tariah is the last one. So would you like that? Would you like me to read Grecian Grace or anything else before I go on to the rest of my art? There's some other stuff to show you. Ideas?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, so let's go back to Grecian Grace, and you can read silently along with me if you like. Now, where is it in the book, you guys? I'm gonna sit
That
down.
was towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning? No, it's towards the end.
Grecian Grace.
It's like 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, okay.
Isn't this fun? No page numbers. Very purposeful. I want you to really hunt. If you just go to the page, you might miss something else along the way. Indeed, I am a portal to your empowered future. My colors reflect the heart and throat chakras. Just walk toward me, glowing at these centers, and I will open unto you a heavenly place. You may liken me unto one step beyond, for that's all it takes. That oft-times elusive decision to flip from one destiny to another. Are you ready? I treasure the playful ones who adorn me, from the magentas, purples, and rubies, who slip gently from 2 dimensions into 3 via the painted and paper-thin bougainvillea. They cast dancing shadows upon white walls. Shimmering patterns fairly pixelate my ancient verticality. Subtle, yet striking, letting the elements chill or fake me. And who will walk my stony path? Will it be you, Prithvi, or someone else? I hear your hastening heartbeat. Now I await the weight of your steps. See that you crush not the petals underfoot, for they, like me, are delicate. Pick one up and listen close. There is that same whisper, I am that I am. We all have our thresholds between waking and sleeping, betwixt daily demands or on to infinity. I am that place of lofty desire. You created my doors, so why are you waiting? If you turn from my colors and walk away, I will weep. Not one, nay, not one, but trillions like you come this way, fleeting thoughts dismissed, but not forgotten by these walls. We hear them all and hold them. That's why we long for those like you to come hither. Step lightly and tarry not, for I am one with all that is here to do. It's very subtle here in the fragrance of morning. Then the sun and moon pass overhead. Yes, the night shut down the shadows. I may not see, but my bosom is full of love. I await you like my lover. Yes, come to me, reach for me, and I will open unto you by your choosing that heavenly place, the rose of Sharon, full of grace. So now, is there any comments? I'm interested to hear your thoughts, feelings about anything that we're doing so far.
So you said you're clairaudient, and that's where these words are coming from,
Yes,
and they rhyme for you.
they rhyme.
Yeah, because like the last the last sentence rhymes. It's like, by your choosing that heavenly place, the rose of Sharon, full of grace.
Oh, that part I probably was conscious. I
Oh,
probably
okay.
like that
Okay.
sound. Grace,
Yeah.
yeah, place,
Right.
yeah. But mostly, I don't even think.
Okay.
These writings, they just flow.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't have to like cross anything out or
Yeah.
think about it twice.
Okay.
It just is there.
So how long does it take you to write one of these?
I'd say maybe an hour, depending on the length. You know, I'd say like there's a few in here that are just one page long. That would probably take 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah. Good
And you go
question.
into another dimension to write them.
I don't know where I go.
Yeah.
I just listen, and it's not an audio thing, even though it's called clairaudience. It's like clairvoyance, you know? You're not seeing something with your eyeballs, but you're sort of seeing in a
It's sort of like coming through your heart or coming through, sort of
Like
passing
an
through.
intuition type.
yeah, it's very intuitive process. Very good. Ben, really good. So nice comments. Anybody else with a comment? John? Any kind of a comment? No? Amara?
Oh, not at this moment.
Okay. Well, what I think I'll do now is, I'll stand up over here, you can see. So I'd like to just flip through these. There's, I think, 7 from the book itself. And then I thought I'd talk to you about some of my other pieces and kind of where I've been and where I'm going with my art. Alrighty, so I'm showing you this because I did take progress shots of this piece as I was going along. And the ballerina in the red was the original look. And so it was done completely in Photoshop. I did not use a brush or a pen or anything. It was completely drawn with something called awaken. Does anybody know what that is? So it hooks up to your computer. It's a little pad and it has its own little pen, but it doesn't write. Just you put it to the pad and it does on your computer screen what you tell it to. So I drew this, literally illustrated this red ballerina, and you're seeing some of the progress shots at the very top. There's actually way more progress shots. I kind of like the idea of showing people my whole process. So I did stop and I would take a shot of each of the, or many of the progressive pictures. So as you can see, the red ballerina is the original, but then I have this thing about turquoise. So I played around with it in Photoshop again, and she comes in many colors. I've seen this same lady in gold and green and all different kinds of colors. Come on up.
Better late than never.
Yeah, come on up here. Yeah, good. Come on in, Lenny. Lenny, this is
Thank you,
everybody.
dear.
Okay, so then, after a while, it dawned on me, well, it'd be kind of fun to have my art on clothing. So, look at that. So I also produce calendars. I've produced calendars probably 7 years now. So this was a cover for the 2024 calendar. And so you could see I turned her into turquoise and gave her a black background. And actually, so I'm wearing the piece right now, right? And it's on the front and the back. It's pretty cool. I work with a company out of Montreal, Canada called Les Galeristes. And it's hard to explain. I'm not gonna try and explain how that happens, but it's very interesting. I think they have something like 300 or 400 artists that they will do, prints on cloth. And there's all kinds of possibilities. Here's just one. So pillows, tote bags, these tunics, which, Lenny, who just walked in, is ordering one with the turquoise and the black background, a tunic just like this. And then there's shawls and tote bags and stuff. So as you can see over here on the right bottom, that one is White Tiger Emerges. So it's a spin-off, right, of the White Tiger Full Moon piece. So let me just go back, because this is the one I'm going to be ordering very soon. It's sort of a kimono, short kimono, and White Tiger Emerges will be on there. I'm excited for that. It'll be on the back too. So to move on, so now I'm going to show you about collaborations that I do. And I've already shown you the blue heron, which is part of the book. And so, isn't that interesting? Look at the wing carefully, okay? One wing, blue, grays, a little bit of pink, right? So then I take it into Photoshop and I start playing around with it. And I turn it and I flip it and I mirror it. And I invert the colors. So then, guess what? Ken, who's taking our video this very day, he and I got together and look what we did. So this is now my business card, which is on the table over there if you want to take one when you leave. So that's a collaboration. Isn't that fun? So that's all done in Photoshop. So the original, the blue heron, was a painting. And this photograph by Ken was a photograph. And you take it all into Photoshop, you start playing around, and voila. So again, this is another piece that I produced completely in Photoshop by illustrating. Right in Photoshop using that Wacom I told you about.
Do you like ballerinas, or were you a ballerina, or do you
I
like
wasn't,
dancing?
but I must have been in another life or something, I don't
Yeah,
know.
because in Taraya you're the ballerina too. And
Yeah.
that-
Ballerina.
She loves to dance.
Well, I do love to dance, but I've never done ballet per se. Anyway, so here's a collaboration with this piece, which again, I can play with it with color and everything. So what you're seeing here, it might look a little gaudy to you, but it's actually the interior of a cathedral by Gaudi. Gaudi, the Spaniard. So I played with the coloration, as you can see, changed her dress to purple. Even their skin is kind of slightly purple with purpley shadows. Let's see, what's next? Oh yeah, here we go. So White Tiger Full Moon. Now let me explain about this watercolor bamboo thing in 1998. That was the year I was commissioned to create wallpaper, like a banner that would go at the top of a room and go all around the room. So the very top of the art would touch the ceiling, right? So I produced probably 20 pieces with this theme, the bamboo thing. Okay, so then what can I possibly make out of that? Oh, White Tiger Emerges. So just playing with coloration again. And you can see I changed the color of the tiger's eyes. You can see that there's no more orangey color. It's got more of the colors that I really love, black and turquoise. Seems to be a theme of mine. And I do believe that's it. That's it, you guys. So, tell me, would you like to talk about this? We still have a few more minutes. Or does anybody want to read out of the book a different piece? What do you think?
I'd say a question. What is the most challenging part of producing a book? Is it getting a publisher? Is it doing the writing? Is it putting all the art together? Or what is the-
Well, obviously the writing came so easy.
Yeah,
I didn't have to think about that. But The challenging part, I think, was the formatting, and I used ChatGPT for that extensively until I couldn't take it anymore. And Ken, who's our videographer today, raced over and helped me finish the formatting because he has published, what, 15 or so books?
20-some.
20-some. So wasn't I lucky to have Ken in my life, right?
There you go.
So you said
In our life.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So was there another part to your question?
No.
No.
Well, the publisher.
Oh.
Oh,
So,
It's self-published
yeah, there is no publisher.
okay,
Just means,
sorry.
at
huh?
Amazon.
Yeah. So you can go to Amazon. You can tell your friends about it. I'd love that. And if you would like to buy a book today, I can sell you a book. So we still have a few more minutes. What would you like to do? You want me to read another piece?
Is that your birth given name?
Nope.
Sunshower?
Nope.
You changed your name?
Sure did.
Okay.
It's legal.
It's a Sedona thing.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
People say to me, "Is that your real name?"
It is now.
And I go, "Well, does legal count?" I made it legal. Yeah.
Even so, the last name, is that your real last name, or your your birth
Well,
given
the
last
story
name,
to
or your
the
family
Rose
last
part
name?
is this. On the paternal side of my family, a lot of women got the name Rose.
Okay.
First name, middle name, I never got it. And I wanted it. And so when I thought about changing my name to Sunshower, I go, well, it's not gonna be a last name. That would sound real, it just doesn't ring. Miss Sunshower. No. So I go, okay, it's a first name. What's my last name gonna be? Petunia? No. Doesn't have a ring.
Lily.
But then I go, oh, Rose is very big on the paternal side of the family. I'm gonna use that. And I think Sunshower Rose has a nice ring. Does have a deeper meaning. The Sunshower part has a deeper meaning. Don't know if you wanna hear that, or shall I whisper it to you later?
Of course I want to hear that.
Okay. So I heard the name. It was Clairaudient as I was moving from California to Sedona. And I'm driving along and I'm like looking towards my future and sort of blessing the moment, knowing I'm gonna be meeting my spiritual family. Never guessing I was gonna end up designing the City of Sedona logo, right? That farthest from my mind. But I just had nice thoughts and I'm going, this is gonna be a good new chapter in my life. And it started to lightly rain. And I looked around the sky, and there was not one cloud in the sky. And I go, well, what an interesting paradox this is. How can it be raining, and there's no clouds? And that's when I heard, kind of in this area of my head, Sunshower, Sunshower. I'm like, oh good, now I'm hearing voices. And I didn't think another thing of it. But a few months later, I was drawing caricatures in Uptown Sedona, and I was signing my my married name over and over and over. I just was doing really good this one day, and I thought, why am I giving power to his name? My ex-husband, he wasn't even a nice guy after all. And I heard it again. This soft whisper, Sunshower, Sunshower. I go, oh, it's a name. Oh, it's a name. So I started using it and I fit in just perfect. Because that year, 1987, there was a whole bunch of us that just arrived from other states and stuff. Here in Sedona, we all got to know each other. We used to go dancing together and good friends, brothers, sisters, like that. And many of them had odd names, like Destiny, like Life with a Y, and Tara. Interesting names. And I go, oh good, I fit right in. And then it turned out, I learned through my dreams that it means shower of the sun. So it's not just a cutesy name, Sunshower. It's shower of the sun, which to me means demonstrator of light and truth. So has a whole different responsibility to it, and I do try to live by that. So, if there's no other, you don't want to see any other
I have a question.
Question.
What is your favorite piece
Ooh, that's like asking an artist their favorite color.
Well, why not?
I don't know that I have one. I think it's a mood thing. You know, I'm so much about the face. I could look through, I have probably produced 250,000 faces in my lifetime. I could look through all the faces I've ever drawn and go, I like that one the best. In fact, Raven Hair Kiss is one of my favorite faces. That's why she's represented in the book and on the cover. So face-wise, I'd say maybe that one's my favorite face. I do like Grecian Grace a lot because the writing that came from it, it's just powerful. It means a lot to me. There's another piece that's within the book called Masquerade, which was the first piece. If you read the introduction, you'll find out it was the first piece from which a writing came. And it was through my dream teacher. I brought this piece called Masquerade to show her. She goes, oh, that's nice. What's it mean? And I go, well, I haven't got a clue. And she goes, well, ask it. I go, oh. So I went home and I asked the piece, what do you mean? And I got this writing that now I know will be read as my epitaph when that day comes. It's all about me, and I had no clue. You know, the ballet and just dance in general. I told you I did art concerts where I would be painting what the dancers were doing. That just gives me a real thrill. So movement, you know, I don't know about one piece, but I love movement. I love to show garments as they seem to be moving. There's another piece in the book called Woman Who Wears the Dress. Why don't you see if you can find that? I think it's towards the end. And like, yeah, if you were to read it, well, I'm gonna just read it for you because it's a good one. I shouldn't say it's a good one, it's just one of them, right? Where is it?
Right
you
here.
guys?
It's towards the end, yeah.
What,
Right
towards
there.
the end?
Yeah, right towards the end, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I am the woman who wears the dress. Listen closely, for as I speak, I twirl in and out of existence. You do not see my body for that reason. My entire creation is yet a drawing, now digitalized, and played with in many forms. Let us pretend that the dress you see takes up space in your reality. As that holds true, I will tell you that the fabric of the dress you see and all its atoms and molecules move at such a much slower rate than myself. That is why you are seeing the dress and the splatterings, which indicate very quick movement, appear before your eyes. The only parts of me you see here are particular lines. These lines whisper the existence of my legs. The reason for that concept is, though the legs are predominant in dance, Sunshower chose to understate the body and emphasize the use of watercolor to indicate the motion of dance in this art. It would have looked silly to have only a dress shown in this piece with no parts of the body showing. Some people even have a hard time seeing the lines of my legs, but if you look closely, you will see that I am wearing a ballet slipper, and I'm on one tiptoe, and the other leg is horizontally shown to the left in this piece. As you will observe, my artist first drew and painted me on white paper. Her vision was to see me against a black background. It is much easier to paint on white paper than on black. Thus, she first painted me orange, knowing that the inversion, or shall we say the color opposite orange on the color wheel, would be a type of blue depending on the orange used. She wanted turquoise against black, so she chose a type of persimmon to create turquoise upon inversion. My artist has been painting dancers in motion for a long time. This time, the emphasis was on the movement and even a trail of movement, showing a split-second passage of time. Think of an athlete or a musician who practices a certain passage or exercise repeatedly. Over and over, they see the action, not only in process, but the end result. The athlete perhaps breaks the ribbon upon crossing the finish line first. The musician perhaps stands and takes a bow towards the audience. This art piece relates to the mind's ability to go through the actions and go on to other thoughts simultaneously. The action may still be taking place where the mind has moved on. It is a form of shape shifting. Now you see me, now you don't. And what if my color changes? Here's some real fun. When you see a prism or rainbow through a shiny object, that is a God thing. Refractions of light that split and show all the colors visible to the naked eye, that is a phenomenon. Now we are playing with time as well. I, the woman who wears the dress, am moving so fast that you can't even see me. I have, in essence, flashed out of existence. The dress presents itself in real time. The splatters of paint show movement in super slow motion. The changes of color are yet another level of slow motion, slower yet. What about the frozen in time part? I, the woman who wears the dress, have known all along what the art piece is about. Sunshower put her focus on that meaning several years hence. She's fascinated with the concept of time travel. It has become more than a fascination, since she also realizes there's no such thing as time. I just put into her mind, I wonder what the woman who wears the dress looks like. That is the fun of this piece. I've been here all along, and will be here eternally, yet you cannot see me. I am another example of that art catches a fraction of a nanosecond. It is like a freeze frame or stop motion. And yet further, you can now hear me. Don't you wonder what the entire dance looks like? That is for me to know and for you to ponder. And with that, I think I'll close this show, unless you have another quick question. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. And if you'd like to buy a book, of course, they're right behind you there. Ken, did you have something?
Just a quickie about how the hand of God came about, because that was a schooling. Remember, in VOC?
Schooling. Which part of the schooling? Where are you talking about?
You attend.
I know the piece, but what do you mean?
What, didn't you attend a class? And you drew that at the class.
Yeah, I drew it outside of the class. Oh yeah, you mean the dripping part?
Well, the hand of God in general.
I know, well, okay, so the hand of God is, you can find it in the book. Where is it, you guys?
Towards the end.
Towards the end? Oh, here it is. So it's watercolor and ink, which I like to put together. And the hand of God actually is the middle part of Cathedral Rock. So you know, you can picture Cathedral Rock, right? It's on my business card, really, because Ken took this wonderful picture of it. And so Cathedral Rock, the monument, has two major pieces and then another smaller piece in the middle that looks like this. That's why it's called the hand of God. So I just decided to do a piece that emphasized the hand of God. This is the piece, actually. See the drips? That first red, the first one that dripped was that red, very bright red, which means that I was painting on an angle. And you know, it's watercolor, so if it's at an angle, what's gonna happen? It drips. And then I go, oh dear, I've ruined my piece. And then I go, well, wait a minute, there's no accidents in art. So, oh, maybe if I push it, I can make other colors drip too. And I did. And now when I teach plein air watercolor on the red rocks, I teach my students, that's part of what they learn to do, is their drips. It becomes a major piece of what they're doing, because they are to paint flat, but then I have them turn their pieces up like this and have a black cloth here on their clothing, and they have to go boom, 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 and it forces the drip, and there's 4 different colors that drip. So they end up walking home with a piece they want to hang on their living room wall. It has drips all over it.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been very fun for me. Thank you so much for taking the time, for being with me, and sharing my art and my clairaudient writings.